Hey guys. All right. It is day 19, Juneteenth of Operation Flying Eagle, and I was the first day of my Titan schedule, and it went really well. Up until like the last quarter block of it, it kind of fell. The last third of it, so I was able to do Invincible in Charisma University. Piano, drawing, and the study and writing didn't happen. There was some other stuff that I've been working on, and I recently wrote a book on stress relief, and in that, like in all my studies, I figured out there's really two things that you can really do with stress. You either build your ability to deal with it, if it's something that you have to actually work on, right, or you have to distance yourself from it, and that's those are really the only two ways to deal with it, right? And I think what was tough is I started to realize the toughest thing with people, right? Because you can't change another person. So the first option, really, it's about who you pick. There's no other thing. Obviously, there's the first thing about being in the support network is making sure you're the right person, right? I know I'm the right person. So that's not the issue for me. And I know I have the skills to pay the bills when it comes to people, conflict management, and things. So I know that oftentimes if I'm still having a conflict or issue with someone, it's not me, it's them, right? And that's not to say like it's always everyone's fault every time there's a problem. That's not what I'm saying. But I know that chronic problems, I don't have chronic relationship issues, right? Um, I work on all of them. Like every time I have something that comes up again and again, I work on it so it doesn't come up again and again. And I've been able to evolve in my social sphere as a result of that. And that's why there's this guy I met after a party, and he and his girlfriend were just walking down the street with some White Claws, and started talking with him. And now he and I run we ran 3 times this week, and he and I run together now. And he gave me some like really good advice, just talking about just stepping away from this whole roommate situation thing. And I was just feeling so stubborn. And yesterday we kind of had a bit of an intervention, and she just like backed off and went into her room and just manipulated the whole situation. And that's when I realized it was like, this is not something you can solve because this is not anything within your control. And so much about like people in your life, why it's so important, it's about who you pick, right? Like that's where your power lies, because you can't control other people. You absolutely can't control other people. And so it's just about who and the nature of the people you spend your time with. And outside of that, your only other real coping strategy is distance, right? And I'm sure, and I've learned this: if you're having to state your boundaries with someone again and again, if you're having to state your boundaries with someone more than once, it's already too late, because you've picked the wrong person. Because someone who's respectful does not invade other people's boundaries, right? And they're mindful of that, and they respect themselves and they respect others. And I just started realizing, like, this place was really good, and I got attached to it, and I enjoyed it. I reorganized the room, and it was really awesome, and it had a great setup. But it's time to go, and I was super bummed accepting that. I was so mad about it. But I was talking to my jogging buddy. He just said, "Yeah, man, you're just throwing your energy into this black hole." And I was feeling this pride, this ego of sense of I can't leave because if I get kicked out, it'll be like losing. But it's recognizing that there are bigger battles to fight. And I was talking with my roommate or uncle, and he said he's a really cool man. And he said something that when you grow and the space isn't big enough, it'll begin to suffocate you. And I'm starting to realize like I'm suffocating because I'm outgrowing the space I'm living in, right? And I've been growing so fast, it was only bound to happen, right? It was going to happen. I just thought it was going to be at this later time, but I've outgrown it, right? And I'm past this drama. And I think comparatively, where I was 3 months ago, a lot of people would have looked at my success this week. I maintained my streak on Duolingo. I meditated every day. I did a bit of the courses. Compared to where I was 2, 3 months ago, I did way better. But I left so much on the table, and I know that. I recognized it yesterday, but this whole last week, just working with this drama and not really focusing and dealing with it, I left so much on the table. And I don't necessarily think that's a permanent loss, but I have to reflect and look at this situation and recognize, hey, what is causing this? Right? Why did I lose all this? And make sure that I don't leave any more on the table, because I can get more, right? And I'm not risking anything. And I have to just be willing to put my ego down. And I don't want to get bullied and pushed around, but I also want to live in peace and be able to focus on the higher paradigms that I'm trying to attain and live in my life. I want to live with that source within myself. And it was right there, plain as day, in my book. I wrote it. It's like, with people, you can distance yourself and pick the right people. That's it, right? Because you can either change it, and you can't change people, or you can distance yourself from things or change how you feel about it. And when you have the power to act and you're feeling stressed, it's because you're not acting. And right now, the only action is just to move. The path of least resistance, Wu Wei, non-action. I don't know, getting kicked out and getting, not kicked out, because I wasn't kicked out. I'm leaving of my own choice. Like, I'm leaving on my own terms, I suppose. And I was able to find a different place to live that's not too much more expensive. It worked out, it worked out. And I think it's going to work out even better, because I know that whenever these really difficult things have happened, it's always right before a great evolution step forward happens. And I know July was going to be a big month for me. I just felt like I left a lot on the table, because I did day 11 of Charisma University, and it's 19th of June, so I'm 8 days behind. And a lot of it's because I've been, the energy that and the focus that I needed for that has been dealing with this drama, right? And it's been difficult. And I've just been kind of scraping by, not scraping, but I mean, I'm still doing a lot. I finished the book. I was able to get a lot done. But I realized I'm leaving a lot on the table, and I deserve more than that. And I can't keep running with a rock in my shoe. And if the rock won't come out of the shoe, I just need to throw out the shoes and get a new pair. And it's tough, but I think that's what needs to happen. And that's what's going to happen. So I'm giving myself full permission to hate my roommate right now, even though I recognize, to move on fully, I'll have to forgive her. Honestly, in a couple months, she'll just be irrelevant to me in every sense of the word, so it won't really matter. She'll just be a figment of the past. So I just have to move on and leave what happens here, and move on to what I'm doing in my destiny, because I have a great, bright future ahead, and things are only getting better from here. But I have to let it. I have to be willing to take that step. So I don't need to resist this anymore. I can just ignore her ass, and then when the time comes, find a new place with a new bed. I think what was actually good, her taking away my TV and the piano, I went and I bought a TV and a keyboard. So now at least I know I can still focus on those things. And the books I needed, because she took them all and things like that. I actually got ready, so I can kind of just seamlessly slip into my schedule when I move into this new place. So maybe that's a tiny little blessing from all the nonsense that happened earlier. So that's pretty good. Anyway, yeah, that's Operation Flying Eagle day 19. I was able to get through about 66% of my schedule. Did both the self-development courses. There's a, whatchamacallit, like a protest thing, and it's with some people, and I'm just gonna go hang out and do that, because yeah, I think one of the aspects of charisma and just general attraction, just in myself, I want to be more easygoing and lighthearted, even though I think I got a lot of the other things down, and I know I can be very fun, but I I think just being more relaxed about expectations and I don't know, being more go with the flow and trusting that. So I'm becoming more open to that. And yeah, that's what I'll be doing. Peace, Operation Flying Eagle, day 19. Out.